Namaste. My name is Ram Srinivas. I'm basically a domicile resident, born and brought up in Bangalore. For the last few years, I've been in the United States. I've basically been a PhD student and a research fellow in one of the top 10 universities in the US in the field of management and strategy. So I came here a few months ago, but then unfortunately I contracted this COVID virus. That was sometime in April. And then I went through the usual routine of staying in home quarantine. And I recovered from COVID, at least that's what I thought. But then subsequently, the problem was more pronounced than that because I had issues like, there was edema in the lower part of the body and I was unable to breathe. And that's when I was put through to Dr. Girish Navasundi. I went through a series of tests, like the ECG, echo, angiogram, which later showed that the problem is more pronounced. There are 4 vessels which are completely blocked. And for this, it is beyond angioplasty and you need to go through a surgeon. And he put me through to Dr. Satyaki Nambala. And he was quite candid, transparent and open. And he said, what's your lifestyle been? How is it that you've been eating? What is your dietary kind of choices? And that's when I came to know the root cause for my problems was not smoking or drinking. It was because of the abuse that I put my body through by having almost quarter-kg ice cream every single day for the last 3 years. And not just that, I had a fetish, for Bengali sweets. So I used to have sweets almost every other day. That means every alternate day. And this led to a spike in diabetes for the last 3 years. For some reason, I felt that, I could take my diabetic pills and have these sweets, have the ice creams every day, and everything would be under control. But this came as a rude shock because when I came to know that all the 4 vessels have been blocked, not due to COVID, not due to any other reason. Only reason, the root cause for all of this was my absolute disrespect towards the food choices and the kind of diabetic management. It was woefully hopeless. Dr. Satyaki Nambala said that considering your age, the life stage, the expected lifespan, and the kind of work that you're doing, I think it is better that you go for a robotics assisted mixed surgery. And that's when I also realized, I also went through the options, the relative, and he was quite helpful. And within 2 days of my surgery, I was up on my feet. I was able to walk and I was able to basically do some light exercises, and that was the speed of the recovery.
We have robotic assisted heart surgery today or heart bypass surgery today, and what we can do for young patients who require multivessel bypass is that we can take both arteries with a robot from inside the chest and then do all those bypasses without having to cut open the chest wall at all. This means this young man after a multivessel bypass can practically go home 2 days after surgery. He can drive back his car while he leaves the hospital. He can resume all his normal activities, and currently he's working somewhere else in the world, probably in the United States, and he could fly back within a week after heart surgery. And this is a multivessel, or what you would call a major bypass surgery. So for young people who require heart surgery, these are fantastic options. For surgeons, for me as a surgeon, I practically cannot believe that something like this can be done so nicely. And these are exciting times, both for patients as well as for surgeons. These are really good times because it's highly satisfying to offer patients something like this, which is least traumatic, least painful, and allows them to get back to their normal activity so quickly.
One of the stereotypical thoughts that patients and the general public have is that you get world-class facilities only in the Western world, typically in the United States, probably in Europe, probably in Germany. But I was pleasantly surprised when I got to meet Dr. Satyaki Nambala, when I got to know about him, when I read about him, and I heard about him from different people. I mean, forget about the fact everybody knows that he's one of the top, if not the best, the top in the country, but he's actually one of the top in the world. This particular procedure that I went through, which is the robotics mixed surgery, it's actually named after, which I subsequently came to know, is named after Dr. Megan in the United States. So now Dr. Megan is a pioneer who actually, broke the path. So he's like a path breaker in this particular procedure. But I'll tell you a fun fact. Dr. Megan came to India, basically saw the surgery that was performed by Dr. Nambala, and he later went on to a seminar and a conference, and he said that there are many things that I have learned from Dr. Satyaki Nambala that I myself did not know. So it's like one of the best, if not the best in the world, saying that he's learned new things, from Dr. Satyaki Nambala. So Dr. Satyaki Nambala is an avowed expert, somebody who is, who calls a spade, but you know what you're getting into. I have no qualms in mentioning that Dr. Satyaki Nambala is the god of Indian heart surgery, if not the world heart surgery. He's one of the best. I mean, he's young, but he's great. He's awesome. The kind of diagnosis he gives you is on your face. It hits you. But then at least he's frank, he's candid, he's open, he's transparent, and he gives you solutions which are world class.